Gerardo Seoane's Young Boys sit 28 points clear atop of the Swiss Super League, having lost just 2 games all season. When Seoane joined Young Boys, he brought with him his direct, dynamic style of football and favoured a 4-4-2 system, all of which has led him to a league title in every season at the club so far. They use some interesting strategies such as high attacking fullbacks, a narrow structure and a lot of crosses. Since Seoane will become Bayer Leverkusen's head coach next season, it might be interesting to take a look at his tactics and whether they fit in with Leverkusen's philosophy and squad. In this video, we are taking a closer look at the tactics deployed at Young Boys Bern. We have the Football Manager tactic, results and training schedules. This analysis is powered by Max Bergman and Total Football Analysis. Be sure to check out their links in the description. Don't forget to hit like on this video. You might not think so, but it helps the channel out massively. Also, check this app out from OneFootball. I'm proud to announce that the RDF Tactics YouTube channel has teamed up with OneFootball. It's a great footballing app. If you haven't tried it out before, then make sure you do. It's free, so why not? You have nothing to lose and the link is in the description below. My personal favourite thing about the app is receiving the latest news, transfer rumours, tracking live scores, but also and of course getting match stats so I can make videos just like this one. There's a video section as well. It's a pretty cool app where you can watch football highlights, historic moments and even post or pre-match conferences. I'm currently using the app to receive news on my favourite team as you have the option to do so. It's a really good app to get your daily football updates and football news. So give it a go. It's completely free and I promise you, you won't look back, and remember, the link is in the description below. Seoane employs a style of football that could probably be considered to be an increasing rarity in football, with Young Boys playing the second most long passes per 90 in the Swiss Super League. They rely on an interesting variation of a 4-4-2 shape which improves their vertical support around the ball and incorporates basic concepts such as diagonality and dynamic space occupation, all of which has helped them to a 48.59 expected goals in the league, which they are actually underperforming by 6. Seoane utilised a direct attacking style in a 4-4-2 system at Bern, with the wingers tucking inside to occupy the space in front of the back line. They left space out wide for the offensive fullbacks. Here we can see the narrow wingers number 7 and number 16 and the high fullbacks number 21 and number 23. In the first build-up phase, the wingers will occupy the half space or flanks and the fullbacks initially stay in a deeper position. The double pivot occupy the pivot space together. That forces the opposition to move out with the 2 central midfielders to actively press. If they do so, Young Boys could overplay the pivot space and directly play to the attacking department. Most of the time, the opposition will not risk committing 2 of their central midfielders, which allows Seoane's team to play to either of their double pivot with the help of a slightly diagonal staggering. Once the ball has been progressed up to their midfield, or when Young Boys win the ball back from the opposition, the fullbacks will be the only players to provide width and move high up the pitch. The attacking players occupying the half spaces and the centre will not only keep their position, instead they will provide fluidity by interchanging their positions and situationally dropping into midfield to attract the opposition midfielders or offer a passing option for the player in possession. One of the most obvious things about Seoane's Young Boys is the high positioning of their fullbacks during the attacking phase. Through their overloads within the centre and the half spaces, Young Boys can occupy the opposition defence line centrally and their width open up space for the fullbacks out wide. The image highlights how narrow Young Boys' attacking structure is and how this creates space out wide. To have both fullbacks simultaneously attacking high up the pitch obviously has consequences on other players. Only a few sides allow both of their fullbacks to move up the line at the same time, as it would leave the central back pairing exposed at the back. In the case of Young Boys, however, they balance these movements with their double pivot mainly acting in deeper areas. This often forms a box-like 2-2 structure in the centre, like illustrated in the graphic. That way, they provide defensive cover. In case of a ball loss, Young Boys, their width have enough players at the back and especially in central channels, which poses to be the most important ones during transition moments as they are closer to the goal than the flanks. Together with their wingers, the fullbacks execute counter movements. While the winger drops into a deeper area in the half space, the fullbacks will move up the line. As a consequence, the opposition fullback often follows the winger leaving his position. Young Boys can then break the opposition defence with a pass into the run of their fullbacks. You can see exactly this concept. Right after receiving, the fullback sends in a low cross and the Young Boys score against FC Basel. As the attacking trio is positioned very narrow, they can constantly threaten the opposition box, which allows Young Boys to send in crosses at any given time. And the Young Boys often do not attempt to get down the byline to send in their crosses. Instead, they will cross rather early. As a consequence, the opposition's defence is not being supported by the midfielders, which leaves them with a numerical equality when defending in the box. Occasionally, Young Boys can even outnumber the opposition defenders in the penalty area, such as in the case shown, where they created a 4 versus 3 in the box. This often results in a free player at the far post. In addition to that, crossing early holds an advantage that there is space behind the defence. As a result, it is possible to attack the space with forward runs, and with the right timing, these runs can create a positional advantage over the opposition defenders, who can only react to the attacker's movements. Young Boys can put in a cross into the space behind the back line and create a promising scoring opportunity that way. Seoane sets his side up to press in a 4-4-2 system, with the system again having some interesting features. They are not an ultra aggressive high pressing team, and instead they usually set up in a more of a mid block, as we can see here. In general, Seoane's side attempt to actively press and force the opposition to play long balls or imprecise short passes which they can intercept. With a PPDA value of 9.51 passes allowed per defensive action, they press their opponents with a very high intensity in the opposition half. Together with the defensive midfielders in front of the central defence, Young Boys are well set up to control the long balls played by the opposition. In the image, one can see how the centre backs form a triangle with one of the pivots and control the long ball. This enables the team to recycle the opposition long balls from own possession phases, which gives Young Boys a true dominance. To press the opposition up front, Young Boys will use their basic 4-4-2 formation. Nevertheless, the shape will change depending on the ball position to ensure that they have the needed staggering to apply pressure on the ball carrier, but still provide enough cover behind the pressing player. One of their pressing traps is to press the fullback. After Young Boys shut down passes in central midfield, the opposition will only have the option to play the ball to either fullback. What happens when the ball is played to the fullback can be seen here. The winger will move out to press using his cover shadow to prevent a pass inside. Meanwhile, the ball near striker cuts off the back pass, while the ball far one prevents the opposition from switching sides. Near the ball, Seoane's team will then press in a man-orientated manner. The ball near the central midfielder will stay close with the opposition central midfielder. The other central midfielder usually covers his pivot partner in a central position in front of the back line during the press, and the fullback tightly marks the opposition winger. From there, the opposition can only play a risky short pass to the marked player or hit the ball long. Their narrow attacking structure also allows for quick counter-pressing. As displayed in the image, Young Boys lost the ball but quickly counter-press with an extremely narrow shape. This enables them to win the ball back immediately. After regaining possession, they quickly switch play towards their free fullback on the far side. And crucially for their pressing system, it allows for an excellent rest defence, which describes the shape they take out of possession in preparation for a counter-attack. They scored an excellent goal against Zurich that summarises it well, with this structure seen here where they have just won the ball. The ball is pressed out wide by a winger and then recovered by the fullback, who can immediately play into the central midfielder. The opposition fullback has moved forward to support the initial pass, and so the Young Boys winger can get in behind. They naturally have two players up against two centre backs, and we see the far striker is in the position between the fullback and the centre back again, ready to receive the ball. The nearby striker drops to receive, turns and plays the ball into that lane, and the far striker scores. And that goal there was a 7-second counter-attacking goal, summarising Seoane's attacking play. All in all, Young Boys are a dominant team that like to possess the ball, attack through the wings and actively press the opposition with a high intensity. With the likes of Frimpong, Weezer at right back and Wengel or Sinkgraven at left back, Leverkusen already possesses fullback that can implement Seoane's quick attack and play with a focus on verticality. They are capable of progressing up the flanks and providing width during attacking phase. Schick can combine quick vertical combination play and target role within the box. He might also benefit from the wingers playing inside, as he's capable of switching positions and driving into gaps. At Leipzig, he demonstrated that he can flourish in a striker duo system. Seoane seems to fit Leverkusen's philosophy and squad, as the attacking-minded previous managers' tactics have similarities with Seoane's highly intensive style of play. But Seoane will probably implement a more direct attacking style with a less focus on ball circulation through positional play. And that there wraps up this tactical analysis powered by Max Bergman and Total Football Analysis. We are now going to go into Football Manager to look at the replication, the results, and also, of course, the training schedules. So let's head over. So welcome back to RDF's Gerardo Seoane's 4-4-2 attack. Now I've named it attack because that is exactly what this system is planned out to do. So we're going to go for the team instructions, then the player roles and player instructions, and then of course we're going to look at the results, the squad statistics, and then lastly the training schedules. So for the mentality, we've gone for the positive mentality. The reason why I've chosen the positive mentality, because although the fullbacks overlap and midfielders break ahead of the forwards, they would generally only do so during relatively risk-free situations, and will usually sit back and help the midfield maintain possession until chances open up. And that is similar to what we want to do. Even though we don't want to knock the ball around and be patient, we still don't want the wing-backs to needlessly advance, because during the first attacking phase they will still generally sit a little deeper. So with the attacking width, we've gone to fairly narrow, so we are going to channel most of our play in central areas, and really only the wing-backs are going to be the ones providing us with the width. For the approach play, we are going to be passing it into space, which is going to help us with our counter-attacking, and also we're going to focus down the flanks. Now I wanted to increase the intensity down the flanks because of course we also want to hit in some early crosses. We want the wing backs especially to be on the ball and hit those early crosses, trying to expose the opposition's defense line. For the passing directness, we're going for more direct because like I said, we don't want to knock the ball patiently waiting for an opportunity. That's not exactly how the system is set up, and you can see that as we are not using player out of defense. So for the passing directness, we are playing a little bit more direct with the tempo on slightly higher. In the final third, we are going to whip those crosses in, trying to take advantage again of the off the ball movement from our strikers, and for the dribbling, we are going to be running at the defense. In transition, when the possession has been lost, we are going to be counter pressing, and when the possession has been lost, we are going to be making our counter movements, which of course is vital for counter attacking. When the goalkeeper is in possession, this could just be down to your preference. I just rather distributing it to the fullbacks and throwing it long. If you choose to download this tactic, you can change this instruction. For out of possession now, we are using kind of a mid block. So we have got the standard defense line, but for the line of engagement it's set to lower. Now for mid block, you would automatically go for standard line of engagement and a standard defense line. With a lower line of engagement, you are still getting a mid block, but it just means that the lines between the defense and the strikers are now a little bit more compact. With the defensive width, we are forcing the opposition out wide, so we're set to narrow. For the marking and tackling, we are using tighter marking. The pressing intensity is set to more urgent. We are preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, and for the tackling, we are going to be aggressive, so we are getting stuck in. Now for the player roles and instructions. In goal, we do have the sweeper keeper on support. For both wing backs or full backs, we are using the wing back on the supportive duty. They have identical instructions, so they are crossing more often, staying wider, closing down more, and tackling harder. In central defense, we have one central defender and we have one ball playing defender. On either flanks, we have two inverted wingers on the attacking duty. They have identical instructions also, which is cross more often, sit more narrower, and close down more. Of course, if they are going to be more narrow once we are in possession, that just gives more space and freedom for our wing backs to get further up the pitch. Also for the opposition fullbacks, if they are marking our wide men, it's just only going to force them in narrow, and again gives our wing backs the space to attack. In central midfield, we have a ball winning midfielder who is going to be taking more risk. He is going to help us win the ball back in central midfield, and he is partnered with a deep line playmaker who is going to be sitting deeper and hopefully spraying those passes as the central midfielder in Seoane's team currently does. Lastly, up top, we have a deep line forward, which is kind of a target man. He is going to be linking up the play and spreading the play, also allowing the inverted winger on this side be more advanced and overlap the striker. Deep line forward, of course, is not going to be a target man. The reason why I didn't use a target man, because the target man may encourage high balls. Now we do want direct passes, but we don't necessarily want those direct passes to be high passes. And the deep line forward is partnered with an advanced forward up top. So that there wraps up this tactic, and we are now going to check the results and the squad stats. So for the competitions in the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen managed to finish second. We played 34, we won 25, we drew 5 and lost 4. Those 4 losses came against Bayern Munich away, which was a 1-0 defeat, 1-0 away against Hoffenheim, 2-1 away against Gladbach and 2-1 at home against Wolfsburg. In the Europa League, we did get knocked out in the quarter-final, so we did reach the quarter-final. We did come up against Atletico Madrid, who are a side that were just too strong for us. And in the DFB Pokal, we were embarrassed by getting knocked out in the 3rd round. But in the Bundesliga, we did come second with points per game. We did score the most goals. We scored 75 goals in the Bundesliga. We did take the 4th most shots as well and had the 7th fewest shots against us. For the pass completion ratio, we aren't really going to be there. For the tackles won though, we won the most tackles, 922. And for the dribbles made, we completed the most dribbles with 137. For the clean sheets, we have the 6th most with 11, and for the fewest conceded with 30. For the expected goals, we came in second behind Bayern Munich with 65 expected goals. For the crosses completed, we came in 14th with 16%. We aren't really going to complete many crosses if we are sending a lot of crosses. But for the crosses completed, we did come in 7th. Again, because we are sending in a lot of crosses, it doesn't mean that all of those crosses are going to be completed. For the clear-cut chances created, we topped that table with 38 clear-cut chances created. And for the conversion rate, we came out on top as well with a 16% conversion rate. Defensively, we made the most fouls, we completed the most tackles, we had the 8th best tackles won ratio percentage, we won the possession the most, and when it comes to clearances, we came in 13th, interceptions, we came in 4th. Now for the player statistics. For the most goals, well, we don't have any players in the top goal scorers list, but for the assists, we have Charles Aragones on 10 assists and we have Nadiem Amiri on 9. But for the tackles won, it is our left back, which is pleasing to know that our pressing trap seems to be effective. Wendell completed 131 tackles. And for the most clean sheets, our goalkeeper came in 3rd with 13 clean sheets. When it comes to tackles per 90, it is our winger that comes in 2nd place with the tackles 1 per 90. Wendell now drops down to 7th place. Moussa Diaby is in 11th place, and all of those players highlighted for Bayer Leverkusen are all wide men. But those were the team and player stats. We're now going to check the team report. For our attacking efficiency, you can see that Bayer Leverkusen were aggressive and clinical. We managed more shots per match than average, and we were the most clinical side within the Bundesliga. Now for our defensive efficiency, you can see that we were quiet and impenetrable. We faced fewer shots per game than average, and we conceded fewer goals than would be expected from the number of shots that we were faced with. So Bayer Leverkusen's defence were very impressive this season. For scoring, how did we score most of our goals? Well, 56 came from play shots, 6 came from headers, 5 came from powerful shots and 6 were from penalties. Now, if you are wondering which systems the 4-4-2 might be best against, we can have a look at the formations faced. Now, when it comes to playing against the 4-2-3-1 wide, we are creating a chance every 29 minutes. With the 4-3-3 is every 35 minutes. With the 5-2-3 wide is every 38 minutes. Against a 4-4-2 as well, we are creating a chance every 28 minutes. So it looks like this tactic is very strong against the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1 wide. But that's the team report. We're now going to check Bayer Leverkusen's top goal scorers and top assists. So within Bayer Leverkusen, Lucas Alario was the top goal scorer with 19 goals in all competitions. Patrick Schick managed to score 14, Damari Gray managed to score 11, and Leon Bailey also got double figures with 11 goals. For the most assists, 3 players got double figures. That was Nadiem Amiri with 12, Karim Demirbe with 11, and Charles Aragones with 10. Those were the key standout players when it comes to goals and assists, but that is everything wrapped up now. Lastly, we're going to go into training before closing the video. So for training, when there was one match during the week on the Monday, it's all about transitional press, attacking, team bonding. Tuesday, we're going to practice defending from the front, attacking down the wings, which is very important to this tactic, and attacking overlaps. On Wednesday, chance creation, because we are an attacking side, and also match practice. On Thursday, chance creation again, just because I love it, teamwork, and then delivery, maximizing our opportunities to score from set pieces. On Friday, it's the attacking movement. Saturday is a match. Sunday, recovery and match review. When there's 2 matches during the week, Monday is all about attacking movement, attacking down the wings and team bonding. Tuesday is about teamwork, resting and then a match preview before the match on the Wednesday. Thursday, recovery and the match review. Friday, teamwork again, match preview before the match on Saturday. Sunday, recovery and then a match review again. That there wraps up this video and tactical analysis of Gerardo Seoane. A big shout out to Max Bergman and Total Football Analysis for allowing me to use the analysis for this video. My name is RDF, it's been a pleasure. Don't forget to hit like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed and also leave a comment if you have any suggestions. I will see you soon. Peace out and please stay safe.